The number four, part two. I know it's been a little minute since we talked about the number four, but nonetheless, here we are again. And of course, specific details will be left out on purpose. But either way, the four is representative nonetheless. Let's just say this particular person is on the fourth of the eighth month of the year. All right, let us begin. Oh, this particular person was met in most unorthodox of areas. And let's just say the energy, as always with anything new, was very energetic. It was pretty energetic. Let's be honest. You know, you know how you have those funny feelings. Don't get me wrong. It's a good energetic feeling, like I said, but something's just a little bit too close for comfort, because they say anything that's say something can be naturally, somebody can be naturally just a specific way. Yes, granted, but at the same time, a lot of people overperform. Hey, everybody likes a good movie. Everybody want to see their favorite actor, right? Well, it's not always if they acted or not. But just follow me here. So we walking, decided to walk in a very open public area. Where people, uh, for lack of a better word, hit balls on a bunch of grass, so they could go into a hole. As recreational kind of fun. It was in their areas doing a long walk around the vicinity. We had a few talks. The talks were pretty down to earth, decent. Actually, took some time, but they say stop and smell the roses, ate off the tree, not ate, at least sampled uh fruits off the tree, and turned out pretty good. Good first interaction, nothing too nothing too demanding. All right, going fast forward. So let's say a week or so, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe up to a month later, you know, get to their place of residence, and you know, initially it was, I think, speaking on the second encounter here, and it was, you know, let's just say the excitement got very excitable, irregardless of myself initiating anything. Everything kind of just flowed into the super physical stage, uh, without any extra preparation. And safe to say, it was pretty amazing. Like I said before, high energy, high rewards, on both parts. And, not bad at all, not bad at all. But like I say, this is just the second encounter. I'm not a person to jump the gun in most situations. But either way it goes, the deal was done, and time goes on, and I will admit that how some things work out in terms of making things official. It never was officially officiated, but it was that blind officialness that came out in a random vicarious interaction. You know, it was one of those go with the flow things. Oh, we just having a good time, fun, and I ended up meeting some good old peers, friends, associates, whatnot. Those were some good times, and ended up meeting the family and the one son and several other family members. And hey, I've never wanted to judge, but hey, it was all you know good enough energy. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody has similar. I'm big on family situations and how those play out. Let's just say everybody was on the same page with recreational usage of things, to calm their nerves and whatnot. And, I overlooked that too. And but over time, you know, we talking about the number four. Look it up and see what the details about it uh, show and prove. I'll leave that to your interpretation. But anyway, over time, things called road rage behaviors start coming out, literally and on the road and literally in other areas, in the home, or just anywhere where I guess they would be triggered easily. And it got to the point where, you know, one particular day, I was just over there chilling, day off work. I was just, get a good nap in. And, started out pretty good until, let's just say, the family came up, and one of the younger family members, they, was being very difficult. And this let the person I was dealing with to get up early in that morning now. And they screamed at the top of their lungs at this particular person, family member, young family member. And my goodness, the octaves, if I could measure it on the decibel scale, it was just, man, it could have broke every mirror, every glass in that neighborhood. It was just, man, I'm thinking of like some kind of superhero or scary movie where you just seen that somebody just scream at the top of their lungs and everything just starts shattering and breaking. That's how bad it got. And me being the person I am, overlooked it. And let's just safe to say over time, the situation, relationship, how you want to define it, it kind of went downhill after that. 'Cause that was one of the biggest of the reddest flags that I've ever seen. But in the future, there's going to be even bigger flags than that to discuss. But right now we deal with this one. So either way, fast forward, getting towards the end, a trip, big old trip to another state on the East Coast, all well and good. But once during the trip was kind of a lot of tension, and after the trip was tension. And that's when a lot of truth start coming out that was held in. I learned some things way before then, but man, once these final truths came out, it pretty much was a done dealio after that. So, you know, I'll get more detail in future videos, but either way, enough has been said about for this one. and I did what I had to do, and I separated, and once again start to elevate after that. That's just how life works. Take the good with the bad, and when the bad overpowers the good, hey, we gotta separate. We got to do it. So either way it go, hey, this has been the number 4, part 2.